Hello, I'm RJ City, and you are listening to the MonsterCast. You're going to talk about Bela Lugosi. They're going to talk about Lon Chaney Jr. He'd be so sad, holding his hat, saying, "Please put me in this room and don't unlock the door." And you can't do any better than the Dahl brothers. Jack and Ryan, they're brothers, but they're also bros. What? Pardon? Wrestling. Well, who the hell wants to talk about wrestling? These are horror movies. It's a deep genre. It's a smart genre. Fantastic actors. Fantastic cinematography. Wrestling is just sweating and fireworks and bouncy ropes. There's nothing. How can you talk about that every week? All right. Let's see them try. Take it away, you crazy dolls.
Jesus fuck my fucking ass. What the fuck? Please shut up.
No. Master Watto is a
shut
champion.
up.
You're gonna put some
Stop
respect on his
fucking
name
saying
now.
Master Watto on this fucking show.
IWGP Junior Heavyweight Co-Champion.
What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Apple Fightful here. You're watching the MonsterCast with Jack and Ryan. A big shout out to those fellas. Good people. Check them out.
Oh my god, what is this?
It
Who
looks
is
like a
making
TV.
the New Japan titles? They need to stop
It
making
looked like
titles.
a TV, bro. They took it too literally. That's the problem.
They should have just turned it into a TV. I would have been more impressed.
That would have been cooler.
Put some
Make
antennas
it-
on the top.
No, just make it like a digital title. Like you could display whatever you want on the
Oh,
digital.
like an
title.
LCD screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then have
That'd be
the
sick as
picture
fuck.
of the person that's the champ. That'd be so good.
Oh fuck.
That'd be worth it.
Wrestling podcast. How fucking original.
Jake and Brian. Brandon Cutler here from AEW, and I hope you guys have an awesome podcast with the MonsterCast. What was that? Your name is Jack and Ryan? Shut up, Jack and Ryan.
Tell me who you would sign first.
Hiroshi Tanahashi.
No, not overall, genius. Between the two goddamn examples I'm about to give you.
Master Watto.
Killer Cross or Dominic Dijakovic, who are you signing first?
Killer Cross. 100%.
What the fuck?
Absolutely.
Wrong! That
No,
answer is
I would.
wrong.
I would.
Oh
Killer
my god.
You don't know shit! Your opinions suck!
I guess I mean, you're welcome.
Fuck,
See,
I'll boo it.
I don't think I've ever said boo.
I will.
That's so stupid.
I'll do it. Boo! Boo! You can't. Don't actually say the word because that's why it sounds weird. You gotta. It's like more like a note. Boo! You don't fucking actually say boo. Boo! 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 You don't turn it into a fucking chant. You actually have to.
I will. I'm gonna do that at Forbidden Door.
You start a boo chant. Boo! 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 Boo!
Here's your hosts of the MonsterCast, the Straight Edge Monster Jack and Ryan.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the final prediction sure to be wrong of the year 2023. I am Jack. That's Ryan. This is the MonsterCast. World's End predictions. 10 matches have been announced thus far, with Dynamite taking place last night. Maybe a couple more will be thrown in there. We don't know yet. I am hyped to see 2 women's matches on the main card, though. Thank you, Tony. Way to finish the year out strong. Good job. Quality stories behind both as well. So that helps. But we're going to start off with the 0 hour first. Let's go. All right, so the first one is going to be really hard, though, because I don't know who the fuck's in the 20-man Battle Royal.
Yeah.
So we're starting off with the 20-man Battle Royal, but I have no idea who's in it. So, like, this is a shot in the dark. And then, of course, it would have to... I guess it would depend on who you think's going to win the TNT title match between Christian and almost got fined. Almost got disciplined by Danielson. Adam Copeland and I almost said it in the beginning, like Adam Copeland's going to fight Edge. Christian versus Adam Copeland for the TNT title later on in the show. It is for a TNT title shot anytime, anywhere. So, like, that's supposed to throw you off that they're not going to fight whoever wins that match. But I feel like they're going to fight whoever wins that match.
and lose. So that's also part
And
of it.
probably
So, like,
lose. Yes, exactly. Maybe if it's Christian, they have a better shot. If Copeland wins it, though, he's definitely not losing it to whoever
Right.
wins this. Which is why I don't want to pick the Claudios or the Hangmans or something like that. So, I mean, I don't know who the hell it would be, though.
I've got a pick.
Or like Nick
that
Wayne,
probably-
maybe?
No, come on.
No, you don't think so? Okay, who you got?
I think Luchasaurus would probably be the most.
See, I was going to say his
interesting-
name, too. That's like the only two other people that are connected with the story, really.
But you
Well,
could.
Shayna
you could
wins
also,
it.
Who?
Shayna. The mom.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Not
our sister, bro.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? If you don't say Wayne after it, I'm like, who? That's a two-name person. But I think obviously Luchasaurus winning it would make the most sense for whatever storyline they're trying to tell, regardless
Kill
of
Switch.
who.
Kill Switch, sir. His name is Kill
no,
Switch now.
we don't call him that.
They have some copyright issues with Luchasaurus, apparently.
We
Kill
still
Switch.
we still use his Christian name. So I was thinking that, but if they're trying to wrap this story up, which they probably should be, and move on to whatever they're doing with Christian next, I think you have Copeland win, and then have somebody like fucking Brian Keith or something win, just to give him a match with Copeland. Like, that's a big, like, kind of the thing that Cody used to do, where he would defend the TNT title against people that were, you know, obviously probably not going to win, but it raised their stock to have the match.
Yeah,
and I feel
Ricky
like somebody
Starks, Eddie Kingston, Warhorse, a couple other guys.
So I feel like if they're gonna put him in that role, which I think is what the TNT title should kind of be, I think having somebody like Brian Keith win makes sense, because he's been around a lot lately. But man, with 20 people and not a single fucking word about who's in it, whoever we predict could not even be in the thing.
Let me tell you who I want to win. I'm going to just make the prediction because I want to, and I don't know how long I don't even know if they're going to be in the match, obviously. I don't know anything about this, but since he was just officially finally signed, I'm going Shibata. Fuck it. I'm going Shibata, dude. I don't even know if he's going to be in America, but I know he went away to Japan. We had this on the show a few weeks ago. Obviously, we haven't had a show in a couple weeks because of the holidays and stuff like that, but he recently just got signed officially to AEW with the permission of New Japan, who is now being ran basically by a fucking Tanahashi, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, Sunday as well, because that's a pretty big fucking deal. A lot of new stuff that came out, of course, every time we miss a fucking cycle of something crazy shit happens. I've got so much shit written down. And I'll probably be old by then, and of course half the show will be taken up by a review of this show right here. And then a quick turnaround to the Wrestle Kingdom predictions as well, and then of course the Monster Awards as well. So like we got a lot of shit happening soon. But I'm just gonna go Shibata just because he's officially signed to AEW. And I think that might be one of the reasons why he wasn't thrown in on AEW television like continuously like he was Ring of Honor, is because he wasn't actually signed. So he was only in there for special moments, like where he teamed up with the Best Friends and stuff like that. Didn't really have any singles matches and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna go Shibata just because. I could also see somebody like a Garcia winning it.
Yeah.
Who was talking with the promos about the Continental Classic and stuff, and then like of course he's super over right now as well. Maybe him, I don't know. Like obviously we don't know because we don't know who the fuck is in it, and their roster is so deep that you couldn't even pick the 20 men. I'd probably get like 18 of them wrong, picking the 20 men in the Rumble or in the Battle Royal rather. So I'm just gonna go Shibata, shot in the dark.
If Hook weren't having a match on the card, I would be looking at even like him or something to come back and try to get it back from Copeland or Christian. Honestly, I have zero confidence in this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say Luchasaurus or Kill Switch. But who knows?
Do you think that like, okay, so let's say Christian wins, obviously, to set that up, do you think that like would be the splintering of Luchasaurus from the patriarchy type deal? Because like he would assume that Kill Switch is going to do the exact same thing that he did before and just get in line, lay down for me, I'll win, and then he says hell no, because they were already kind of splintering a little bit before he left.
Yeah. Something like that. I don't know that they have Copeland lose again. He's already lost. So it's kind of, I don't know. That seems weird, doesn't it? No, obviously he lost to bullshit, but like, how many times can you book him losing to Christian?
Yeah, that would be 2 in a row.
Yeah.
But this one he's actually more protected than he would be the other one because it's no DQ or whatever, right?
Kind of. You know, they could do the story where Luchasaurus wins, so he gets the title shot. He comes out, and Christian expects him to help him because it's no DQ, and he doesn't. So they could do that too. I don't know. There's a lot of ways I could go with it, but even that doesn't really make sense because why the fuck why does Christian Cage care who he, or why does Luchasaurus rather care who he ends up wrestling for it? You know. So yeah, I don't know.
two complete shots in the dark there for that one. I don't. Let us know in the comments below for sure who you think's got that one, because we don't even know who the hell's going to be in it. Maybe somebody will say somebody's name and be like, oh yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. I can't think of anybody right now.
I mean, like a Brody King or something would make sense. Like just
I'm sure there's like a name floating around. Like I wanted to go like Ali or a Ziggler or something like that, but why would they waste that on a 0 hour?
True. Yeah.
If it was on the main show, I probably would have leaned one of those.
They have done debuts on 0 hour before. But yeah, I think Luchasaurus kind of makes sense as he still fits into the story and gives them somewhere to go right after that. But yeah, I've got no fucking idea. Brody King would kind of make sense. He did good in the thing. Jay White, like if they wanted to do something with him coming off of his tournament stuff.
Yeah, see, the Jay White, I view Jay White too high because he'd have to win.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And then I'm like, he's too high for the TNT title, in my opinion.
But if the story that they're trying to tell is that Copeland and Christian eventually become a tag team again or whatever, you have to get Christian away from the heel shit, or you have to put Edge into the heel shit. There's a couple ways to do that. You could have him get fucked over and get real mad about it. He's kind of already acting a little bit heelish, a little bit. He's like very tweener, you know, doming a fucking child in front of his mother is not exactly babyface shit. So it's like, it wouldn't be that hard of a turn, but I feel like if anybody turns, it'll be Christian being a little bit more normal, I guess. But he does so good as a heel. I don't think anybody really wants to see him as a face anymore. So that's where it's kind of an issue. But I think everybody kind of knows that Copeland wants to do that, like in real life. He wants to do that tag program stuff. So
the other thing is like they got the whole Macho Man thing going on right now with Shayna, where like, yeah, she's supposed to be the heel or whatever because she turned on Edge, but like you understand what, like, yeah, that makes sense though. Like you hit her kid in front of her with a fucking concerto, dude, trying to end his career. Like no matter what the fuck he said to his mom or whatever, like he's still gonna fucking stick up for her son. Like the only thing that doesn't make any sense is her aligning herself with Christian.
Right.
Yeah, like you should have still been separated from the Christian part of it.
Right. Yeah. That just seems weird. But maybe it's like he has my son's best interests at heart kind of thing too. I don't know. Whole thing's weird.
Yeah, we'll get to that match. When I get to that match, I'll just pick a winner since we basically just broke it all down anyway. But next up on the 0 hour, we've got the FTW Championship in FTW rules match, which means basically anything. If you've ever seen Taz in a fucking match before, anything's legal. So Hook versus Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta is the Pure Championship. I do believe that Hook wins this, and then that way Hook can challenge Yuta for a Ring of Honor Pure Championship match under Pure rules, and we'll see if Yuta can keep up with Hook, or if Hook can keep up with Yuta in Yuta's type of match.
Yeah, I imagine that's pretty much how it's going to play out. It's going to be Hook beats Yuta. Yuta has a shit fit saying, you know, well, I'm a better wrestler than you. You won because you.
Well, here's the deal: is FTW rules is usually no DQ, so technically, I guess you can't even do rope breaks. But I'm not sure how they're going to play it off in AEW. So, like, let's say Hook grabs the rope more than 3 times because Yuta keeps trying to make him submit. and then Yuta ends up losing, and then he can say, well, you only won because this wasn't a pure champion or pure rules match, because you would have been out of rope breaks and you wouldn't have been able to grab the rope and I would have made you tap. And then Hook's like, okay, well then if that's the case, then put your title up and I'll beat you in your own type of match or whatever. That I don't know if they'll do that because that's kind of specific, but that would be cool though.
The rope break thing does kind of fuck with that since it's an ODQ, but you could do it with the closed fist thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because there's no DQ, so you can obviously hit him in the face.
Just starts pounding the shit out of him. He's like,
which would be what, an automatic DQ in the
after
is it automatic DQ in the pure rules or whatever?
I think you get. I thought
one warning or some shit like that.
One warning, yeah. So you get one and then you're done. I think.
Okay. So we both got Hook in that one.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the main card here. Now this is awesome because this is the culmination of this awesome round robin tournament minus Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe for the Continental Classic final here. And Eddie climbs all the way back, typical babyface fashion. Thought he was down and out. Pulled a Naito basically, right? So he's in the final, and he's gonna have his 3 titles on the line, or 2 titles, and then the new title on the line in the Continental Classic for the modern Triple Crown against Jon Moxley, who he considers his best friend. So this is a culmination of a really long thing because they've been going back and forth, but they always don't really seem to go against each other. Either Moxley gets out of the way or gets the BCC off of him or gets Eddie off of the BCC shit. But they don't really butt heads too much as far as inside matches.
Well, there was the one spot where I believe it was like a belly to belly through the table in the corner or something during one of the Blood and Guts matches, and they just like hung out together in the corner, like talking shit to each other while they were kind of like both passed out for the rest of the match. I think that was with the what fucking one was that? It was one of the more recent Blood and Guts, I think, where Eddie had sided with the Elite. But yeah, that was definitely interesting. Fuck. This is tough because the story that makes the most sense, and what makes the most sense even outside of storyline, with New Japan not necessarily wanting the belt to go on to Moxley, is that you would keep it on the same person that they chose to put it on, right? You don't lose your title in someone else's promotion. Especially a match like that they could book in their own New Japan Strong and have like really good ratings for it and stuff like that.
Well, see, so, I think it's even simpler than that, Ryan. Here's what I think. You got Wrestle Kingdom coming up in like a week after this. Mm-hmm. Moxley's already in a match. Eddie Kingston doesn't have a match, so why wouldn't you have the Triple Crown be defended at fucking Wrestle Kingdom in a separate match when Jon Moxley's already fighting for the fucking new global championship in the triple threat? So it just makes too much sense for Eddie not to win this.
Is he? But he's not booked for Wrestle Kingdom, is he?
But if he wins this, why wouldn't he be?
Because it's like a week's notice. It's like,
we just found out fucking 5 matches last night for this one.
That's okay, but that's different because it doesn't involve traveling to fucking Japan, bro.
You think Kingston gives a fuck about traveling to Japan? He'll be on that motherfucker tomorrow.
No, but like the borders and the work visas and shit like that.
I'm sure he has all that in line, dude. He wouldn't be the in JPW Strong champion if he didn't. I'm sure he knows what he's getting into.
The last time he went over there was, well, Strong is an American branded subsidiary, though. That's kind of the point.
Well, it's been defended on Wrestle Kingdom the last fucking 4 years easily.
The thing is, Wrestle Kingdom is 2 different things now, right? Isn't it split up over 2 days on different events?
I don't know if it's split up this year. I don't think it's split up this year. I think it's only one night this year.
It is one night. It is January 4th, and
yeah, that's what I thought. I figured it was one night this year. I swear I read that somewhere. I don't know why they just went back to one night. Wait, a long ass show.
Yeah, because they got 11 matches right now, and that's including like one of their weird little multi-man things too.
So, but we both have Kingston though winning this one for sure.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. It finishes his story. He gets to do the Triple Crown thing. He's like the first
Not
American.
only that does he get to finish his story, he beat all 3 members of BCC that were in the fucking tournament.
And the ones that he's had like.
He lost to Danielson obviously with the Eddie's a bum thing, but he comes back and avenges that. He beat Claudio with the upset win, and then he beats Moxley in the final. Like,
yeah,
definitely completes it. Like, it makes too much sense for Kingston not to win this, honestly.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in Kingston winning too. But the other thing on the flip side of that too is that like, for the first person to ever hold it, Moxley brings a lot of prestige to it. So there's always that argument. But yeah, I don't think you can have Kingston lose here.
But I think Kingston brings a lot of prestige because that's the type of person that, like, his fighting style is the kind of person they want to win this type of Triple Crown.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. I think arguments against Kingston at this point are just like trying to deny the obvious path of the story. So yeah, I'm gonna go Kingston as well.
Like you gave Danielson his G1 type tournament that he wanted before he retired, and you give Eddie his fucking Triple Crown because he loved All Japan so much, and now you got your own fucking modern Triple Crown, and because you fight that same style, like you hit two birds with one stone in this tournament. It ended up working out perfectly if that's the case, and he ends up coming out on top.
And you give him decisive wins over people he hasn't ever beaten before. So there you go.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next one. We're going to hit up the two women's matches back to back here. First up, TBS Championship on the line with Julia Hart going against Abaddon. This storyline was very intriguing to me because I had no idea which way they were going to go, whether it was Julia Hart's going to team up with Abaddon and wanted her to be on her side as her heater type deal, which would have made a lot of sense. Even all the way up to the Thunder Rosa comeback, I thought maybe even there was a slight chance that Abaddon turned on Thunder and all three of them get together, but it ends up being Sky Black, Sky Blue, Sky Midnight, whatever you want to call her, teaming up with Julia officially instead. So now it's actually Julia versus Abaddon for the TBS Championship, and I think it's cool for Abaddon because Abaddon has deserved it over the, since they started using her again. She's been doing really fucking solid, if not great matches, like the match with Sheeta, obviously, for Halloween, and the tag match, obviously, and then she had another match, I believe with Sky Blue, actually. So, I mean, she's been doing really great since she's been back. She's had I wouldn't say Gunther-like, but body transformation, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's put in the work, obviously, while she's not even been on TV, so, why not give somebody that's dedicating themselves to your company, even outside when they're not being used like that? You got to give them a shot. Obviously, it's it's the secondary title of the two, so that helps too. I don't want to call it that, but that's what it is. And of course, Julia needs new people because we're tired of seeing the same shit over and over. So you don't want to put Statlander in this position because you don't want people to start turning on Statlander because she's always getting opportunities and stuff like that. So Julia will retain right here because of all those things and because Abaddon is just being thrown back into the fold now. But I am very happy for Abaddon getting this shot, but I am picking Julia Hart to retain here.
Yeah, and it's so easy to do this story too. You just have Sky Blue interfere. It's whatever. But yeah, I've also got Hart winning. It's too early to take it off of her. She's super over. She's done a really, for everything Abaddon's done, which is great. If you look at Julia Hart's arc, that's,
Yeah, it's longer. It's a bigger transformation as far as character work goes, obviously, and all that stuff. So yeah.
And they're just not done telling that story yet. So it's cool that.
There's also another thing is let's say Abaddon wins, right? What the fuck happens after that? There's nowhere. Where do you go? You'd have to start complete a hard reset where Julia didn't really get a finish at all because it's almost like she would be stopping in the middle of her ascension instead of waiting till she peaks and then have the big bad to take it off of her, or whoever that may be, or the final girl, I guess, in this case, since she's technically the big bad. So yeah, so we both got Julia Hart for that one, and I feel like this is the same type of situation. Toni Storm just got the title. Riho, now they are not one to AEW is not one to hide all not give you any surprises. You know what I'm saying? We've seen Sheeta win when we didn't think she was going to win the world title. We've seen Riho win when we didn't think she was going to win the title. It would not shock me if she won, but I don't think, because of how over Toni Storm is and how over her character is and how much effort they're putting into that character with the black and white camera, with the throwback props and the throwback lines and words that she's using in her promos and shit like that. They're putting a lot of effort into this. Gave her Luther as the butler. She got Mariah May debuting next week for her first match, which I believe it will be the eventual person to take it off of Toni Storm. If it's not Hayter, it will be Mariah May. So I'm going Toni Storm for all those reasons. Even though I would not be shocked if Riho won, I'm just saying I'd find it very unlikely that they surprise us here.
If they don't do an interference thing in Julia Hart's, I could see them doing it with Mariah May in the Toni Storm match. and then Mariah May being like, yeah, so you owe me a title shot now because I'm the only reason that you were able to retain it or whatever. So
I think that's where they eventually go because she'll keep winning and she'll be undefeated type deal, and maybe something like that, or maybe she gets a shot and maybe she ends up beating Julia Hart, and they both have championships, or something like that. Like there's ways they can go with it, for sure. Oh, excuse me, but yeah, I'm excited to see Mariah May's debut match. But this match is gonna be a banger too, though. This match is gonna be good.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good.
All right. Speaking of multi-man matches, like you were talking about earlier for the one Wrestle Kingdom match, we got a multi-man match for this. Sammy Guevara already kicked out of the Don Callis family, and joins back up with Jericho, and they're only doing this because of Kenny, but
right,
it's fine. Like, we understand that. Like, I don't have an issue with this.
I saw under
normal circumstances, I would hate this, but I understand it.
So many people I saw bitching about this yesterday, and I was like, bro, like, you know why they're doing it. Everybody knows Kenny's out. So what else are they gonna do, bro? They it's like rushed together shit. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It is.
The match was put together literally in one night. The whole storyline is a one night storyline.
And it didn't really make sense. Like, why is Guevara mad that his baby's in a picture? That's kind of weird. When he was talking about how everybody else was like overshadowed by Don or whatever, I thought he was going to point out, like, look at, even in these pictures, you are in the foreground of every one of these fucking pictures. Like, you were in front on every single one of these fucking paintings.
I think that would bring too much light to it, to the point where if the heels don't notice that and do something about it, then they'd look stupid. Type deal. You know what I'm saying?
But they could also just be like, well, he helps us or whatever. But yeah, the whole thing was kind of weird because it's one of those like meta commentaries about an actual problem that they have with the storyline, which is that it really is about Don Callis, and it has kind of overshadowed, like,
it would be cool if a better way to do this, I think, if it would have been 4-on-3 and they couldn't find a partner, and then Sammy comes out in the match or whatever to help them, because this 8-man tag is clearly going to break down into chaos, right? And then Sammy comes out and helps him, and then he hugs Jericho, and then we find out why Sammy turned on Dynamite and give it a little bit of time to breathe.
Yeah.
And then say all that, where, like, even though I turned on Jericho, Jericho still checked on me and sent me texts. Even though I didn't reply to him, he was still asking me if I was okay and everything was okay, and sent me Merry Christmas texts or something like that, stuff like that. And then you didn't say shit to me. I think that would have played a little bit better. And then instead of rushing it all to happen on Dynamite in one night, and then we have the match a couple days later.
People would bitch about that as far as like, oh, why is Sammy coming out in the match or whatever? But yeah, I feel like when it got explained, it'd be fine. Yeah, I wasn't crazy about the way that they did it, but I also understood why they did it. And Sting's obviously not losing any matches, so
yeah, Sting's not losing. Like, Sting being in this match made this shit so easy. He needs to be undefeated. I don't give a fuck. I don't even care if he's fighting Darby in his last match at Revolution. Beat him. I don't give a fuck, dude. Sting go undefeated in AEW.
The way they probably do it is like everybody hits their finisher on Big Bill or Fletcher or some shit.
Probably Fletcher.
Lose.
Fletcher's taking the pin for sure, but.
The
only reason I would say Fletcher might is because he has a title too, but all 4 of them have titles now, right? Doesn't Hobbs have a title or no? Maybe Hobbs takes all the pins. Maybe Hobbs doesn't have a title.
I don't think he has a title. But no, my thought on Big Bill was that Big Bill takes the pin to set up the Guevara's gonna take over Kenny's title shot tag match bullshit. That's what.
Oh yes, okay, that makes sense, because he was saying that he'll eventually find a partner on the previous week's Dynamite or whatever, or Collision or whatever the hell it was. Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. So it'd be the Sex Gods versus Big Bill and Ricky Starks instead. Yeah, that makes sense. And that's probably another reason why they chose Guevara too. So that makes sense. Instead of trying to come up with some new random tag team with somebody else that's not connected to Jericho. Although Jericho and Sting would have been a cool one, and finally give Sting a goddamn title before he leaves out of here would have been awesome. Assholes.
But the problem is, obviously Sting's got to take the hot tag in that, right? So
Sting's getting the dub. This is the last New York match, probably. Yeah, Sting's getting the dub.
No,
he's gonna get the pin.
What I'm talking about is if they did Chris Jericho and Sting as the tag.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, who would be the worker?
Who's doing the work? Yeah,
it'd have to be Jericho.
It would have to be Jericho, but I don't know that you can trust him to carry that match waiting for Sting's hot tag. Nothing against Jericho, and he's not had like horrible matches or anything, but I just feel like that would be so. I would feel bad for Starks and Big Bill, if that makes sense, because like they're the work that they're doing is like really like top of their
That's
game.
the bad
right
part
now.
about all this is that Starks and Big Bill are doing really fucking good.
Yeah.
But I think obviously Omega and Jericho were going to win those titles.
Yes.
Now I don't know if that's the case with Sammy and Jericho, but that would be a cool story though, because then they'd be back together. But then where do you fit that in if Omega comes back? Isn't Guevara going to be just instantly jealous because the Golden Jets are going to be back together? Like, I don't know.
Well,
Or is it going to be so long that they would only even have the Golden Jets when he comes back?
That, or you have Kenny come back and turn fucking heel.
That'd be cool as fuck.
heel
I mean, the
Kenny,
Young
bro.
Bucks already turned heel anyway, right? So like,
Yeah,
fuck
I
it.
miss heel Kenny. I hope he comes back and beats the shit out of Guevara. It's like, I left for like 6 months and you stole my title.
You just have him turn heel on Jericho for stealing his catchphrase the other night. That's all you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking take my catchphrase and try to spin it off like you were being nice to me, asshole.
Whatever anime villain plot you want to give him, man. That's where he's in his
anything that
element.
gets a chip on his shoulder. Fuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I there's no way Sting doesn't. Sting gets the. I think Sting not only gets the win, but he hits the Scorpion Death Drop or Scorpion Death Lock on Kyle Fletcher. I think Kyle Fletcher is gonna take it if Sting is clearly gonna get the dub.
Yeah, I still say Big Bill probably takes the pin, but we'll see. They just do it like the old you remember that John Cena Elimination Chamber shit where he got hit like Codebreaker 619 and then Edge Spear and like gets and loses like immediately. It's like just the same setup. You have Coffin Drop into fucking or something into him. No, maybe like Scorpion Death Drop into a Coffin Drop into fucking Jericho putting him in the walls or something and he taps. Like there's a lot of ways to do it.
Or Judas Effect and then Sammy Guevara hits the 450.
Yeah.
It could just be a combo of them two while Sting and Darby are just going nuts on the outside doing crazy shit because it all broke down.
Oh yeah, Sting's definitely gonna jump off something.
Yeah, like I feel something. Even if it's just the turnbuckle to the outside, he's jumping off of something. Especially with Big Bill being one of the people that could catch him. Like yeah, he's jumping off of something.
Heart running at 60.
All right. Next up, we got the No DQ TNT Championship match between Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. Of course, this is a rematch from their Toronto. I think it was Toronto.
Oh my God, he's 64.
Yeah, Sting is no fucking joke, dude.
Jesus Christ,
Sting is no joke.
That's crazy. Okay, sorry.
Sting
I
is the
thought
fucking man.
I thought he was like late 50s, but that's still okay. Yeah, all right. Christian Cage, Adam Copeland. Yeah.
TNT Championship on the line again.
Kind of talked about this one, but
yeah, I'm just gonna pick Copeland because, like you said, how does he lose to him twice? Right.
That, and I understand that the no DQ gives him an out in the sense that he can have Wayne come out and he can have fucking whoever come out. I feel like if you have Wayne come out, and we know that Darby's there, we know, and the match is obviously right after it, so it might be kind of weird to have Darby come out and make the save. So actually, maybe not, but. In a no DQ situation with Copeland, maybe you have FTR come out and make a save if interference happens. So there's a lot of things you can do with it. So yeah, I feel like Copeland wins, but goddamn Christian Cage is on such a good run. I hate the idea of taking it off of him in the state that he's currently at. But you got to advance the story. You can't just do this forever. So.
Yeah. It's gotta be Copeland. It's gotta be like I would not be shocked if it's Christian again because Edge or Adam wants to propel Christian because he's doing really amazing work right now and stuff. And but the other thing is I kind of want Christian to win. If Christian wins, does Copeland keep going after him or does he move on to something else? Because if Copeland wins, I don't feel like Christian's definitely not going to be done with him. Do we have to see a third match with these guys? I kind of want it to be over already.
You could do that because then you could have him up 2-1 and then eventually, like when they do start the tag team or whatever, like let's say Christian starts leaning a little bit more face after he gets turned on, he would still be able to say like, well, I still beat you twice. So it's not like he's getting overshadowed in the tag. If that makes sense? So maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to go Copeland for now, though.
It could go
see.
either way, but I just feel like this is the time to do it,
There's 3 50-50 matches. That's one of them, and the other 2 that are coming up next are the other ones. This one is Swerve versus Keith Lee. Now, Swerve is on a hot streak like a motherfucker right now, but he did lose the triple threat to get into the finals of the Continental Classic against Eddie Kingston, where Moxley beat him and Jay White in the triple threat. But Keith Lee said on Collision that he was coming to find this motherfucker, and he had the cinder block in his hand, so we all knew who he was talking about.
Right.
And then, of course, after the match or whatever, like later on in the show, Swerve said, "Hey, you found me or whatever. You want it, you can do it." So at World's End, here we go. It's Swerve and Keith Lee, and a lot of people are complaining about how long this has taken. But you got to remember, Keith Lee has had a lot of health issues with COVID, and they didn't want the same thing to happen to him that happened to somebody else that everybody loved in WWE that recently passed away. So this makes a lot of sense to me that they waited this long, because they want to make sure that this match is going to be able to deliver as well, by the way, because like you got these two guys in the ring, you want it to be a fucking great match. We're not trying to see Toni Storm versus a hurt Jamie Hayter type situation where it was like fucking 3 minutes because we all knew Jamie Hayter was hurt and she was dropping it. So I'm glad that they waited this long, because I really want to see this fucking match, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be hard for me not to pick Keith Lee here, though, because Keith Lee has all the vengeance, and Swerve just lost. And if you're really confident that Keith Lee is 100% back, then we're pushing fucking Keith Lee, dude. Like, we're pushing him. So I'm going Keith Lee here.
I am too. I think Swerve gets his win back later. But I understand Swerve is like really fucking hot right now, and they're pushing toward this. You know, he's probably gonna take the AEW title at some point. But there's enough breathing room between World's End, playing out whatever MJF storyline, Samoa Joe storyline, Adam Cole storyline, whatever, where putting Swerve right back in there will make total sense. I think the path that probably makes the most sense is you have either Joe or Cole take it off of MJF, Swerve take it off of them, and then probably Ospreay at some point takes it off of whoever has it then. So I'm fine with Strickland losing here because he has plenty of time to recover. And I don't think you can tell the story of Keith Lee coming back, hunting this man down, and then fucking losing. That just looks terrible. So
yeah, and then with like winning all his matches on the way to him, while Swerve's lost a couple in a row here.
And you could always tell the story that he's fucking, because he just told the same story the other night where he lost in the triple threat. And he's like, they didn't give me no fucking break. Like, they immediately threw me in a triple threat match, like immediately after I had already just had a match or whatever. I didn't have any breathing room, whatever, like that kind of shit. Like same thing. They're just like running this man ragged, and he loses because he just had a grueling fucking. The same thing they do in New Japan, where part of the story of the matches after the G1 is that people are beat the fuck up from the G1, and that's why they lose some of them. So yeah, I think this makes total sense. You could do this in a way,
or you
too,
could do like how they do with Okada, where Okada will be dominant for 3 years, and then like 1 year he's like losing a lot, and everybody's like, oh, he's just taking a break because he's fucking tired of getting his body beat the fuck up. That's just the typical Okada year right there. He'll be back next year.
That's Pants Okada, or Kokada, as he was known at the time. But yeah, just going completely off the fucking rails and then eventually refocuses. You could do that. I think Swerve has that quality about him too, like Jay White, where his backstage interviews post-loss are so good that you don't care about the loss in the sense of like, oh, he looks bad because he lost. Because the character work afterward is so fucking good that you're like, this guy's still in the exact same place he was. He didn't go down from the loss. Yeah, I don't think you could tell the story without Lee winning.
I mean, I still think it's a 50-50 toss-up, but I agree. Like, it would make Lee look not great. I don't want to say he's buried or anything. I'm just saying that, like, the storyline that they're telling, if you go all the way up there and you lose to him, this man had a death match with fucking Paige, then a fucking round robin tournament, then lost to Moxley, and then lost again in the triple threat. And then you fight him just days after this, and you lose when that was your only single mission tunnel vision for this guy. That's gonna be like, what? You got all the way there and then still lost? Yeah, that's gonna look bad.
I would even say you have Strickland come out with like his fucking ribs taped or something, just like something to make it obvious that he's still
because
banged
when he gives him the bomb, the power bomb or whatever, it would make sense for like, okay, he's a little bit protected. Yep,
I agree.
All right, another 50-50 match, in my opinion anyway. It's Andrade El Idolo versus Miro. Now,
this is so late in the card, isn't it?
I don't know if that's the card lineup. That's just how they have it listed, so that's why I did it. Yeah, it could be that late in the, I don't know. It could be a buffer match. Who knows? But I think it's going to slap either way, so it doesn't really matter. I think it's gonna be fucking awesome. I think they're gonna beat the shit out of each other. They're gonna be some loud ass fucking chops in this one.
The fucking Miro promo where he's like, I don't give a shit about him working with my wife. I want to wrestle him because he's a dick. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, this is gonna be crazy. But here's where it gets weird though, is because obviously, well, I don't know if she'll be back or not from her infected finger. I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but that fucking thing was brutal.
Did she say how that happened?
Yeah, splinter. She got a splinter backstage and did not wash it right away or some shit, and it got infected, and all hell broke loose.
I saw when they had cut it open to excise all the pus and shit.
Yeah.
Ooh, it looked like she fucking dropped it in a goddamn meat grinder, bro. It was so nasty.
Yeah. Yep. Looked like it got caught in a baler. It was fucking brutal, dude. That's so nasty. I don't know if she'll be there at World's End. It would make sense if she was, because then obviously you have the two clear-cut ways that you can go here. She helps out Andrade, and then Miro gives her the respect that she needs, and then backs the fuck off of this shit so we can get off of this fucking CJ Perry Miro storyline bullshit. Or she turns on Andrade, and we have to deal with the CJ Perry being in Miro's corner for the foreseeable future.
I mean, both are probably fine. The thing with,
as long as Ziggler doesn't show up, we'll be fine.
Hey, he's here to show the world, okay?
Dude, I do not want to see no cuck storyline in AEW. We're not going back to the Ziggler shit, okay? Ziggler, stay your ass away from this pay-per-view. You can come at Revolution. Stay your ass away from this pay-per-view.
Well, if Ziggler comes in, he needs to be teamed up with Ryan and do a tag thing, because I feel like that's the most entertaining. Like Ryan,
it depends on how much
funny.
he wants his brother to get pushed in AEW too, I guess. Like, he's done pretty much everything he can do in wrestling. So if that's what he wants to do and propel his brother or whatever, because I think his brother is overlooked and undervalued what he can do. So
he's so
that would be
fucking funny. People don't people skip his BTs, or people used to bitch about his BT segments and stuff, and I get why some of them weren't appealing to everyone, but his comedic timing and shit is very good. And people overlook that a lot. He's a genuinely funny person. And I feel like they could play into that character a lot more if he had more screen time. So if they do bring in Ziggler, I hope it's to pair with him. Anyway,
all right, so who are you picking though for this match? Because I'm making you pick first on this one.
Yeah. Fuck. I mean, depending on how they want to go with the CJ Perry finding clients thing, if Miro wins, then it kind of makes. It's so weird because with the whole storyline, it makes it seem like if the person that she's managing loses, that it's somehow her fault. But that's not really how managers work. So it's I don't know, man. Andrade's so fucking good. They should probably have Andrade take the loss and then regroup and do stuff with Roosh and LFI and all that, and go back to that stuff. Start that stable again, start doing trios. Because him and Roosh together are really fucking good.
Yeah, him and Roosh should be fucking tag team champions. We talk about tag team champions.
As soon as you say Roosh and Andrade,
long time tag team champions. Have it for a year type deal.
Yeah, they're both so fucking good. And it's not that I don't want to see Andrade doing singles matches. He's great at those too. It's just that there's too much going on in the singles division right now.
And the only thing I can see him fitting, the way I can see Andrade fitting into a singles thing is taking the title off of Orange Cassidy and being the AEW International Champion, because he still goes and fights in Mexico and stuff. So you literally have the International Championship around a dude that will go to other nations and fucking defend it, and it makes sense, and he's a huge star. So that's where I would slide him at if I was going to do singles.
He did just start doing CMLL stuff again, and I wonder if maybe. Well, but this isn't for a title or anything, so he could still lose, and it's not that big of a deal.
Well, I'm just saying if that's where I would slot him if I'm not putting him with Roosh in a tag team. That's where I would slot him so that he can succeed in a singles run. Because the rumors every other week is Miro's leaving, Andrade's leaving. Now they're fighting each other. Miro doesn't want to lose to this guy. Miro doesn't want to lose to this guy. Andrade's dropping fucking wins to people in the fucking classic, so he clearly doesn't have an issue with it. It's weird because I'm sure it's based off of who he's doing it to, but
right.
All that makes me want to pick Miro, but we picked pretty much the same thing on every fucking match, so I'm just gonna go Andrade to go opposite of you on this one.
Okay.
Because it literally is 50-50. I was just waiting. I wanted to see who you're going to pick because I was just going to pick the other person.
I'm leaning more Miro, because I think that his as soon as he drops the CJ Perry shit and goes back to the I'm gonna fucking fight God shit, like that's where money in Miro is, not with him worried about.
He could still be. He could be with CJ Perry and be like, "Oh, I'm back on the same page with my hot wife, and now we're both gonna fucking fight God, and now we're not gonna lose," type deal. And then they just go on this fucking tear where he destroys everybody. It's insane.
You know, Kenny Omega loves that shit too, because that's such a common JRPG thing. We're gonna go fight God.
And he loves video, and Miro loves video games too, so like it works.
Yeah,
it's cool as shit. Like I love those backstage promos, like the vignette promos that he does. It's insane. So Ryan's gonna go Miro, and I am gonna go Andrade on that one. And then gets us to our main event here. That's for the AEW World Championship, and I believe that we're gonna pick the same one here as well. I'm going Samoa Joe here. It makes no sense for him to make a deal with the devil on Wednesday night. Help him win the tag titles and turn on an MJF just days before we go into World's End, so he can get the upper hand, because that's what Joe always does when he turns. It's because he wants the upper hand going into a title fight, and then still lose would make him look so bad and honestly dumb if he loses. So it's got to be Samoa Joe. Got to be. Not only do I think it's Samoa Joe, but I do believe that we find out who the devil is at World's End.
I don't think they reveal it that soon, because Cole's not.
It's literally called World's End. Okay, so here's the deal. That's why I said if Samoa Joe wins, because if Samoa Joe wins, there's nothing else to take away from MJF. You took the Ring of Honor tag titles away from him, and then you took the other thing that he loves the most, the world title. Guess what? If it's revealed to be Adam Cole, who's on my shirt right now, that's the shirt I'm wearing. If it's revealed to be Adam Cole, that would be the last nail in the coffin to take everything away from MJF that he loved, all in one fell swoop in a week's time or whatever, and it's literally called World's End. So I feel like they named it that for a specific reason besides it being the last pay-per-view of the year. Like, why would we wait till another whole month of January, which we don't think we have a pay-per-view yet, and then Revolution is in February? So, like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, it needs to be okay, do you think they wouldn't do it because they want the ratings on TV instead of the pay-per-view? Because usually, back in the day, in the Attitude Era, the big payoff would be at a pay-per-view, and then everybody tunes into Monday Night Raw because they want to hear the explanation of why the fuck that took place or why they did what they did type deal.
The problem, though, is that Cole is still hurt. So you reveal it as him, and then what? He still can't wrestle for 3 fucking months?
Yeah. Or you reveal it to be Britt.
I don't think it's Britt.
Oh, it would be awesome if it was Britt, dude. It would be awesome. You know why it would be awesome? Because I had this conversation with a buddy of mine at work, Michael, avid fan of the show as well.
Intergender match, okay? It doesn't make sense.
Here's why I love it to be Britt. Because Britt makes sense. One, she's not just being thrown in there. She hasn't been on TV. She fits the figure of the devil when you see the devil beside other people, especially in the backstage ones when they show the devil rather. MJF was talking mad shit about Britt for how long before the Cole thing happened, before they got together as a tag team? The initial thing that Cole told Roderick Strong was, "Trust me, I know what I'm doing. He doesn't even watch the show. I got this." That was the very first thing he said to Roderick Strong when Roderick Strong, quote unquote, went crazy about him teaming up with MJF or going out and doing the bro sessions or whatever.
Yeah, I think the other part of it too is that it's very easy to tell the story of him like being so fucking angry and petty about losing the world title match that he would want to do all of it. Yeah.
Yes, but not only that, is what I like about it is like it would be like an ECW storyline feel where it's revealed to be Britt, and then we wait till Cole is okay, and Cole is still talking to MJF here and there. Like, man, I had no idea she was gonna do that. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. I'm so sorry, bro. You know. And then when he's finally cleared and he comes and tries to confront the Kingdom and Roderick Strong and Britt or whoever the hell the henchmen are revealed to be, he turns on MJF as well. And then MJF officially loses everything. And do you know how much fucking heat Cole and Britt and the rest of them would get when that happens? And then MJF is catapulted to fucking Bryan Danielson status as a face. Like, legit. It would be crazy.
Still just think you don't need The problem with doing it is Britt, aside from the obvious of she can't have a match against MJF. I mean, she can, but they won't do that. That'd be a pretty interesting fucking match. I think the problem with that is just you can't sell that as a feud afterwards. So I think it has to be Cole. And Cole, you know, from his past and his in other promotions and shit like that, he's a goddamn snake. He's a very nice guy outside in real life.
I would say like I still think it could be Cole and he could reveal himself, but then like you said, the problem would be how is MJF not going to get to this motherfucker and he's still hurt? So we still have to wait 3, 4, 5 months for him to recover from this fucking ankle thing. So it makes sense because the devil hasn't actually fucking done anything physical. So it would still make sense for it to be Cole right now. But if he reveals that at World's End, your issue would be, how the hell does Cole do anything? Because MJF would literally, MJF is not a dumb face, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like he's still technically healed, so he does all the smart stuff and he thinks with logic when he does stuff with his character. So how the hell would Cole even get away to the point where, hey, I need 4 more fucking months to rest up and MJF's not gonna fucking find me? Like, no, MJF's gonna find you and fuck you up because you can't move.
The problem with this story, though, is that there's one part of it that doesn't fit, okay? The Jay White shit, where Adam Cole was asked to, like, save MJF's championship and comes out and he's, like, actually going to have the fucking match because he doesn't know that MJF is gonna steal a fucking ambulance and drive himself back or whatever. Like, he has no way of knowing that. So he was actually about to start that match with Jay White. Now, is he so willing to, like, because that part doesn't fit.
Yeah, because he would also be the one that had his guys attack Jay White as well. You get what I'm saying? Like a few weeks before that or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know. That part wouldn't fit in retrospect. I think
whoever it is, whoever it ends up being, or whenever it happens on Dynamite, I really need for them to do the Bully Ray Aces and Eights thing where they literally take every little fucking angle that happened with that person and explain how they did it so it makes sense, because I thought that was like one of the best things TNA did post
here's all the little hints
in the Hogan Bischoff era. That was like the best storyline that they had. And when Bully Ray was named the leader and they broke that shit down, and you're like, because you're thinking about like, what fucking Bully Ray out there all this time? Why was it? Well, that doesn't make any sense. And then they broke it down and you look at all the angles and shit where he never really did anything to anybody type deal and no one really focused on that shit. And then it's like, oh yeah, this was me right here. This was us right here doing this part. This, you see this? I don't even actually hit him or anything. He gets out of the ring before I can hit him with the chair, you know? Like, just breaking it all down, how they did this master plan and piss everybody off. I need that to happen with whoever this devil is.
That's exactly what made me know that Joe was in on it, because in one of the promos where he's getting accused, somebody says, you notice they never fucking touched you. And I was like, that's right.
Yeah, I believe that was Roderick Strong that said that, right?
That's weird. So yeah. Who the fuck are the tag champions? It's gotta be
Kingdom. Gotta be Kingdom. I'm sure people will keep analyzing that match to see if they're doing anything, any little nuances here, because if you watch the wrestler long enough, you know who it is.
Well, I saw that fucking Heat Seeker and I was like, who the fuck does it like that? Because there's not that many people that even do it. And
did you see Hammerstone comment on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we know it's not you, Hammerstone. You're fucking huge, guy.
Right.
We know it's not you. It would be badass if it was Hammerstone leading the whole fucking thing, but that devil is not big enough to be you, and you definitely did not do that Heat Seeker.
Yeah, when I saw that Heat Seeker, I was like, fuck, how many people actually do Heat Seekers? And it looked better than MJF's does a lot of the time. So I was like, fuck, that might be telling. And then I was like, well, let me look up and see if Bennett or Taven really have ever done that much. And they don't. There's not like a long history of it. So I don't know. But yeah, obviously it was done because it's MJF's move. I have Joe winning, and I have Cole being revealed at the end. But the problem that I have with it is still just, I don't know what you do until he comes back in that scenario. Because you don't want to have MJF feuding with the fucking putties for the next, 6 months until Cole comes back. Like, that's weird.
You could just keep MJF off TV. Keep him off TV. He has to, because he's so fucking depressed and distraught over it, especially if you don't re-sign him anyway. Like, if you don't re-sign him in 2024...
The word is he's already re-signed.
I know that's the word, but he's also come out and said that he's never lied about it and he hasn't re-signed yet. So, I mean, whatever. We'll see. But my thing
WWE
is
was
if
the one saying that they're not even in talks with him. So,
dude, if MJF loses, that actually fuels the fire that he's telling the truth because still nobody knows if he's gonna fucking come back. You get what I'm saying? So not only has he wrestled more than ever this year and doing double duty and shit a lot, it would make perfect sense for him to get a break and to fuel the rumors of, hey, where's he going? Because it's 2024 now and he's no longer the champion, so we know he's not in AEW. That would be crazy.
But it doesn't fit his character to get fucked over like that and then not do anything about it.
Yes, but we've never had his character have this much stuff happen in his character where, like, he embraced the positivity type shit and then he gets it all heartbroken again since, like, the first time since he was a kid type deal where he was trusting people and then they all turned on him and he lost everything.
It'd be so fucking funny if he comes out and he's like, now that I know how it feels to be betrayed, I just want to say I'm sorry to Cody and I'm sorry to Wardlow. That'd be funny to me. But yeah, fuck. That's just such, because the way that they were describing Cole's ankle, it's like fuck. Like he's not gonna be back for a minute. And I do. Joe giving up the TV title to me made it feel like, okay, Tony knows that he wants to give Joe the title, the world title, because you don't keep the TV title on him at that point because then somebody has to beat him for the TV title. And if somebody beats him for the TV title, then why aren't they the fucking world champion? So now, in retrospect, if you look at this from the view of Tony planned all along for Joe to win at World's End, then just dropping the title actually does kind of make sense. So, we'll see. But yeah, I've got Joe. That's as much as people have complained about this storyline, I feel like, and it has been a little bit overbooked sometimes, whatever. But this is the one that I feel like people are the most curious about. So they're doing something right.
No, it's fine. I'm cool with the longevity. I just don't want it to go past World's End and we still don't know who the guy is or who the person in charge is. I need World's End because it all plays into the MJF contract thing that they keep playing up every now and then, especially in the scrums with MJF. So to have World's End happen and still not have a definitive answer on who the devil is, then why the fuck wouldn't MJF come back to AEW? So it would make no sense. Like, you want to have that mystery in the air of where he's gonna go. That's literally why he's been playing it up.
When he doesn't show up in WWE for months, then you already know. But
yeah, I get all that, but that doesn't mean anything either, though, because
he does
a lot of people not show up
been...
for months. So this isn't. Not every situation is going to be a Bret Hart situation where, hey, we signed you to the biggest contract ever, but then we're not going to fucking bring you in until 4 months later when all of your heat's died down, and then we make you a referee.
I think the way that you do it is you have him take the time off afterward, and then there's some fucking New York show that he comes back during.
That's crazy shit. Yeah, I'm cool with that. If that happens, or it's got to be Chicago or New York. But I get what you're saying with New York because he's from there, obviously.
Yeah, if you want him to come as a face and really push the face thing, then you want the reaction when he comes back to be like guaranteed.
To let all the other cities know that he's a face and you need to be cheering him.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Because the other thing is when Adam Cole turns heel, I don't think you got to change Adam Cole's music, right? You don't want people doing his fucking thing when he comes in.
The baby thing? Yeah. I mean, he did that as a heel in NXT.
Yeah, I know. I understand all that. Yeah, I'm okay with it if it stays. I'm just saying it would kind of take away from it too.
People still sang Judas when fucking Chris Jericho was a heel too.
I understand all that, but they also changed Nakamura's song and I hated it. I said I'm okay with it if they keep it, but it does take away from MJF's pops too.
Yeah.
When they go against each other, I mean. All right, so we both got Samoa Joe. I think we only picked one different one, and that was Miro and Andrade. So Ryan is not going to win this year. I will be two-time champion. These are our prediction records right now. Obviously, we'll update them on Sunday. 121 and 31. Ryan is 115 and 37. He can only gain one match on me. And I am two-time prediction champion. All this will reset. And I also got a bonus thing for you next year, buddy. That's going to start with Wrestle Kingdom. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. There's going to be another title introduced. I'm like Tony Khan, just throwing out titles. Another title, baby. So you're going to have you're clearly Monster Quiz champion. I will never be that for this year. You won that by a landslide. So let me go ahead and give him his props right here because we're not doing another quiz this year either. So I'm the prediction champion. Ryan is the Monster Quiz champion. There's going to be a third title introduced called the MonsterCast CP champion, and that's confidence picks.
We're not calling it that. We're not calling it that.
Why? What's CP?
Brother.
I know what DP is, but I don't know what's CP.
See, child porn.
Oh, okay, my bad. Let's see. I didn't know that was the abbreviation. I didn't know it had slang. My bad. Sorry,
Yeah.
not into child porn enough to know that guy. What the fuck?
Well, I used to be a moderator on 4chan.
Okay, that's great. I just didn't know
We
what the
used to
hell
have to
that
remove
meant.
that shit all the time. Like, it's like we can't call it the CBG.
What about? Okay, we'll call it the MCCP. How about that? MonsterCast.
That's Yeah,
Okay,
that's-
we'll call it that. The MCCP champion. All right, so it'll be the MonsterCast. Confidence predictions, confidence picks. I mean, so when we do our prediction show like we are right now, we'll do our predictions for the regular predictions. But at the end of the show, we will literally put in order how confident we are from 1 to whatever the fuck it is, for how many matches they have. With the highest
Are
number
we
being
weighting it?
Yeah, no. Listen. So like for instance, there's 10 matches for this show.
Yeah.
The one that you're most confident in, you're putting that number 10. If you win, you get 10 points.
Yeah, it's weighting. That's what I just said.
Yeah. They do it with the College Bowl Mania, and I thought it was a cool idea. So I was like, because you got to do you got to pick all 40 something bowls, and then you put them in order from your most confident or whatever. And if you win the top one, you get 42 points or whatever. You win the bottom one, you get 1 point. So you want to put the ones that you're most confident in, obviously at the top. Like, oh yeah, Rhea Ripley's beating Zelina Vega type deal at the top. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but of course, with Wrestle Kingdom, it's going to be crazy because there's going to be a lot of points out the gate because they have so many goddamn matches, right? So we're going to start it with Wrestle Kingdom, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's going to be a third title. Triple Crown, possibly, at the end of the year if you win all 3. So it'll be interesting. We'll have our own little MonsterCast Triple Crown. But be ready for that. It'll just be integrated into the end of the prediction show. So the prediction show is probably a little bit longer. I'll try to get my predictions all written out and shit before we get started, so I won't take as long. And then Ryan can do his shit.
I can do them in real time.
But yeah, it'll be awesome. Now the only problem with that is, okay, so anything that's picked afterwards will not be part of the confidence picks, but will be part of the regular predictions.
Okay.
Because we're not gonna reorder the whole fucking thing. You get what I'm saying? So, or I guess I could count them as 1 point afterwards or something like that instead, just so we can get the point to be added. But yeah, that's what we'll do, because Ryan could literally be the winner in confidence picks, but not straight up predictions, just because he was more confident about something than I was. So I think it'll be fun. We'll see how it goes. That'll be a new wrinkle in the next year. Hope you guys enjoyed the World's End prediction. Let us know your predictions in the comments below. And quick update, we did donate everything to the Humane Society on the 22nd, and I don't know if you heard him bark a couple times. I didn't mute everything. I got a couple barks in there. That was Ricotta, the dog that we picked up from the Humane Society that we'll be taking back on January 2nd, as we fostered him through Christmas for their Silent Night thing or whatever. I would show him, but technically Christina signed a lot of stuff that we weren't allowed to post a lot of stuff on social media and stuff like that with him. For whatever reason, I don't know the exact reasons. I assume for people talking bad about the dog, and they want the dog to. I'm not going to. I think he's a sweet boy. I'm just saying I don't know what the parameters are in place for, but we're not really allowed to post them, even though I already kind of messed up a little bit on Facebook. Yeah. So we do have Ricotta. He's a sweet boy. He's just very loud and very active. He's a puppy, so. But yeah, we'll be taking him back on the 2nd, which I believe is Tuesday. But we're trying to get him anything that we don't think he's had before. Like I made prime rib the other day. I gave him a little piece of prime rib. Don't know if he's ever had prime rib before. Gave him he got to play with a lot of toys from Konami for Christmas that we got a shit ton of toys for the dogs here. So he got to play with a lot of toys. They said he didn't know how to play. Disagree. He also thinks he's a lap dog when he's clearly not. Huge, lanky, very skinny, feels very braille. Like we had a lady come over from another shelter yesterday and said that she doesn't see any pit mix in him at all. She thinks he's fucking Labrador and something else, which I agree with because of the way he acts. He's really sweet. It's gonna suck to take him back, but I definitely do not have the backyard for him or the time for that. Like that's a lot of active stuff. Like I can play with my bulldogs for 10 minutes and they're good for a week. This dude I gotta play for 3 hours and he's good for 10 minutes. He's very active. If I had a bigger backyard or whatever, or fenced in even front yard or a bigger house or whatever, it would definitely get this guy full time, but I just can't do it. Whoever he goes to though, they're going to be very happy with their selection. But that's the update on that. We did donate everything. And I believe I posted pictures on our
on Twitter, I think.
On our Twitter, yeah, at Real MonsterCast, of us placing the stuff in the donation box. And I also have a TikTok of me putting the stuff in the car and the picture after with him in the car with me or whatever when we're coming back. So that's the update on the Wrestle for Rescues thing.
All those YouTube exposés about fake charities got us real nervous, so we gotta.
I'm not too worried about fake charities because, I mean, it's a real charity. It's not something I created, so I'm not too nervous about it. I don't really care if anybody believes me or not, but I do want to keep people updated that we did do that, and appreciate all the subscribers through the month of November, of October, and a little bit of November, and then I think we're up to 190 something. So that's awesome, crazy because we still keep going even afterwards, and we haven't been around for 2 weeks, but we appreciate everybody in 2023, and hopefully in 2024 we'll double that number. That's the goal. Is to double that number and get up to 400 and like 400 basically. I'll just say 400. And we'll see how it goes from there. Appreciate everybody coming through. Enjoy the pay-per-view this Saturday. We'll be coming on with our last show of the year, I believe, on the 31st. Like, there's 31 days in December. Yes. So 31st, we'll be doing a huge review on the show, and maybe I'll mix in a couple other things that I've had written down for a couple weeks that we haven't been able to get to. Should be awesome, though. I'm hyped for this pay-per-view. I didn't think I was going to be as hyped as I was for this pay-per-view, but with all the matches announced yesterday and how everything's shaking out, even though me and Ryan agree on a lot of stuff, I'm still very hyped for this show. So I'm excited. Plus, of course, you have Wrestle Kingdom around the corner, then Royal Rumble. Like, this is wrestling season right now. We're in wrestling season. And then, of course, we have the Monster Awards coming up on January the 7th as well. So be ready for that. I've got most of my picks in already. I'm pretty sure they're good. I'm going to look over them one last time, make sure I want to keep those picks in. But World's End is going to be a big indicator for a lot of that stuff. So, Again, thanks for everybody commenting, liking, sharing, following, subscribing, all that good stuff. And we will see you guys next week for our AEW World's End review and so much more. Deuces.